Good morning, amazing fifth graders, or good afternoon if you're watching this in the afternoon. This is the second time I'm recording this because the first time epically failed, but hopefully it will work this time. Welcome to week 29 of school. I'm excited. It was so good to see so many of you last week when you guys came to school. Thank you for working hard on your Chapter 7 math test. For many of you, looking great. Please finish that math test and turn it in today. But what we're doing is we're going to dive into Chapter 8, Dividing Decimals. Now, before we do that, I want to remind you guys something. You guys rock. That's why I have that picture showing right there. That you guys rock. You are awesome. Just keep up the good work. Keep working hard. Keep getting your stuff. Bring your Avid binders. Take good notes. All the things that make you guys great students. There's a couple of things to look forward to. A week from Thursday, so next Thursday and Friday, I'm going to kick off coding and game design for all kids, including the kids that are at school, you guys, and the distance learning kids. That's going to be our second graduate school class. Of course, we first had Shark Tank, and now we'll have coding and game design. So it's optional. Don't have to do it, but that's something to look forward to. And then, of course, 2 weeks more, and you guys have a spring break. So bunch of stuff to look forward to. With all that said, let's kick off some math. I'm going to stop my video. Let's see if I can stop this. No, not that. Hide. How do I get rid of this video? Yeah. Hopefully I'm not on video anymore. If I am, that's okay, because last time it froze when I tried to do the notes. So we're going to go back to fourth grade, old school for a second, and I am going to do a little Think Central video with you because it does a really good job of introducing dividing fractions.
Let's look at a fraction problem.
Dramatic pause.
To find out how many stops Mia makes, you need to know how many 1/4 of a mile stops are possible along a 2-mile-long trail. Let's start by drawing a number line from 0 to 2 to represent the 2 miles Mia walked. This is how you can label the number line. You can skip count by fourths along the number line to solve this problem.
Okay, so let's picture this. I'm going to read it to you. Mia walks 2 miles, so here's her 2 miles, okay? She stops every fourth of a mile. She stops and takes a rest or takes a picture, does something, okay? And it wants to know how many 1/4 are in 2. So you basically take 2 and divide it into fourths, and then it wants to know how many fourths are there. Well, let's count them. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. Now you might be saying, but that says 1 whole, right? But 1 whole is 4/4. 5/4. But it says 1 and 1/4, right? But remember, it's 5/4. What's 5 divided by 4? 1 remainder 1/4. You still don't get it? Okay, next one, 6/4. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/4. What would be 6 divided by 4? 1 remainder 2/4. 7/4. 1 remainder 3/4. And then 8 or 8/4. What's 8 divided by 4? 2. So how many jumps do we need? How many times does Mia stop? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many fourths did you count?
Well, you just counted them. 8/4. She has 8 1/4 stops.
There are 8 1/4 in 2 holes. Use multiplication to check your answer.
Wait, use multiplication. Yes, this was division. You took 2, divided it by 1/4, and got 8. So what if you reversed it and took the inverse and took 1/4 times 8? Well, that's repeated adding. 1/4 plus 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 1/4 is 8/4. Well, what is 8 divided by 4? 2. See how that works? You're like, no. It's all right. We're going to have lots of practice.
2 divided by 1/4 equals 8, because 8 multiplied by 1/4 equals 2. So Mia stops 8 times to exercise on her 2-mile walk.
All right, let's watch one more slide. This time they're going to do a similar thing, but instead of using a number line, they're going to use fraction bars.
Let's use fractions to help Roger solve a problem.
Dramatic pause.
To find out how many pieces of string Roger has, you will need to know how many groups of 1/5 can fit into 2 holes. Let's use fraction strips to solve this problem. You can use 2 whole fraction strips to model each yard of string. How many 1/5 fraction strips will fit below both whole strips?
Okay, so let's take a look. It says Roger has 2 yards of string. So here's the first yard. Here's the second yard. Obviously, it would just be one big long piece of string. And then he cuts it into fifths. So he cuts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces again. How many would that be? Someone said it out there, 10. Let's take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 1/5 fraction strips will fit below both holes. Just to be sure, let's use multiplication to check your answer.
Okay, let's think about it. So 10 times 1/5 would be repeated adding. 10 fifths, what's 10 divided by 5? 2. It'll be back to the 2 holes.
2 divided by 1/5 is 10, because 10 times 1/5 is 2. 10 1/5 fraction strips fit equally below the 2 whole fraction strips. So Roger has 10 pieces of string.
All right, let's take some notes on this now. I think I can go here and minimize this and this. Let's go over and grab our other camera. Hopefully this will work better this time. Give it a second to catch up. Last time was really mad at me. Come on, will my hand appear? My hand appears, good. Okay, so make it 3-column notes as you can see up there. 3-column notes, label it Chapter 8, Dividing Fractions. I ran out of room right there, but you know what, it's okay. And then tomorrow's date, I'm actually doing this yesterday. So what is it going to be? The 22nd, I believe. 19. All right, dividing fractions. So we're going to start by dividing a whole number by a fraction. But what we're going to do is I'm going to get a different color. If you have red, that would be amazing. If you don't have red, it's okay. We're going to put 2 stars here. Here is 2 huge tricks for the rest of this lesson. I'm going to go right to the tricks to help you guys remember. So please write this. Start with a whole number end with a whole number. Start with a whole number, end with a whole number. Opposed to start with a fraction, end with a fraction. Give you a second to catch up. Write that. Start with, end with. All right, that might make not that much sense now, but it's going to. You guys are going to see a pattern. I know it's going to jump out of the page, off the page for you when we get going a little bit more. So let's start with this one. Let's start with 3 divided by 1/3. So think of what this is saying. You have 3 whole things, and the question is really, this is what the question is really asking, how many, please write this, how many 1/3 are in 3 holes? It's like that's what the question is secretly asking. So let's actually do it. Let's draw 3 holes. 1, 2, 3. There's your 3 holes. And it wants to know how many thirds there are. So break them all into thirds. Right? Each of these is 1/3. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Yeah, we're kind of doing this the slow way at first. Don't worry, we're going to get to the fast way, but I want to show you why. So the question is, how many 1/3s are there? Well, let's count them. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9. The answer is 9. 9 what? 9. Secretly, it's 9 1/3s, but you don't actually ever say that. It's just 9. So the question was, how many 1/3s? There's 9 of them. Now, I want to point this out because we're going to do a couple more. Look at this. Start with a whole number, 3. End with a whole number, 9. You see, you started with a whole number, ended with a whole number. All right, let's try another one. Let's do 2 divided by 1/2. So we won't write these words again, but what they're saying is, how many 1/2s are in 2 holes? Well, let's do it. Draw the 2 holes. There's 1 hole. There's 2 holes. Cut them both in half. This has a half. This has a half, and a half. How many halves are there? Well, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4 halves. The answer is 4. Start with a whole number, end with a whole number. I think you might be seeing a pattern. Maybe not yet. Remember, it's only day 1 of this. Okay, this one's for you guys to try now. Let me see. I'm going to use pink. 5 divided by 1/4. What is 5 divided by 1/4? You should pause the video now or give yourself a chance to try to look at these and try to figure it out. All right, let's go over it. So how do we do this? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes. Where am I getting that from? It says right there, there's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it says cut them all into fourths. So you know I like to do half of halves. Or just put 3 lines down on each one. You can do it that way too. Now, because there's so many, I'm not going to write 1/4 in every one. Let's just count them. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Remember what I said? Let's look back up at this note. Start with a whole number, end with a whole number. Hey, started with 5. What was the answer? 20 at the end. All right, let me flip to the back. What happens if we go the opposite way, though? What if we start with a fraction? What will happen? So let's try this. Let's go 1/3 divided by 4. We're going to draw a picture of this. So how many boxes do we need? Do we need 4 boxes? No, we need 1/3. So we always have to start with a box, just one. Break it into thirds. Right? So there's your thirds. But you do have 1/3. Go ahead and shade that. There's your third. Right? But they want you to now divide that third. See this third right here? They want you to divide that into 4 parts. All right, that's all right. 3 lines across. 1, 2, 3. How much would just this piece be? It would be 1 piece out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1/12. Start with the fraction, end with the fraction. Start with fraction, end with fraction. All right, let's do one more together, and then I'm going to let you guys try one. 1/6 divided by 2. All right, so what do we have? We have to start with a 6. Well, how do you do a 6? You need 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it gives you 6 spaces. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. So you have 1/6. Where am I getting that from? Right there. It says you have 1/6, and now cut it in half. So you just have 1/6. There it is, and you cut that in half. How much is that right there? It's 1. Anybody know? 1/12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Start with the fraction, end with the fraction. All right, I'm going pink. Your guys' turn to try. Do 1/4 divided by 4. Okay, let's take a look. Now, you should have paused it, obviously. That wasn't a long enough time for you to do it, but hopefully you guys, Miss Smith and Miss Lindsay, had you do it, or at home you paused it and watched. So let's think about it. You have 1/4. Okay, so here's 1/4. Then you're supposed to take that 1/4, see that 1/4 right there, and cut it into 4. Of course, that's always 3 lines. And they want to know how much is that right there. Well, it's 1 out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Start with a fraction, end with a fraction. All right, now we're going to do some mental math. Okay? Nobody can use their pencils. So put your pencils away. I'm going to do these first 2 with you, and then you're going to do the rest on your own, okay? I mean, with your teacher. All right, so let's look at this first one. What is 4 divided by 1/3? Without drawing it, can't draw it. I said only your mind. Start with the whole number, end with the whole number. The answer is, type it into chats or something, 12. Start with whole number, end with whole number. Now this one looks very similar. Look at how that one looks almost the same. Remember, start with fraction, end with fraction. What's 1/3 divided by 4? 1/12. Start with fraction, end with fraction. Anybody seeing a pattern here? Let's do 2 more, and then I guess I'll leave the last set for you guys to do as a class or just at home. I'm not going to say the answers, though. How about this one? Look at these, look so similar. What's the answer to this one? Start with the fraction, end with the fraction. How about this one? Start with the whole number, end with the whole number. All right, you shoot for doing the rest of this page, and then I will share what your homework is. Okay, your homework is out of the Chapter 8 book, Dividing Fractions. Chapter 8 book. If you don't have this book, it'll be in Google Classroom. This same paper right here, this paper will be there. You should do 4 through 11. Okay, you don't have to do the top ones. You can if you want, always. But 4 through 11 is your homework. All right, hopefully that made sense, 5th graders. Thank you. Remember, still teaching the Rubik's Cube if you want to learn it. T-shirts are going out to a couple of kids. Julie's well on her way to trying to learn the Rubik's Cube, even though it's later in the year. I hope you guys have a great day.